Hey there, everybody. New studio, new intro. I'm just here to remind you guys before you listen to today's episode, make sure you follow the show and subscribe wherever you listen. If you watch the show on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there, you comment, you like, and you share. Also, follow my social media, all of it, both Instagrams, my Twitter, follow it all. Your life is to be consumed by my life. Tell everybody that you know about me. Start conversations with the fact that the Smoking Simian is your favorite podcast. Bombard everyone that you know and love with the Smoking Simian. Send them links day in and day out of my show, of the episodes, of my posts. Get thrown out of your house because the only thing that you care about is the Smoking Simian. Do it. Enjoy today's episode. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and good morning. Good Monday morning, and thank you for tuning into the show. Here we are on the last week of July already. Holy fuck. Time goes by when the world is burning around you, huh? No, time just flies in general, especially when you become an adult. When you're a kid, time, and I know I'm not the only one that's ever said this, but time as a kid, it drags like a motherfucker, and sometimes you want it to, and sometimes you don't. But as a kid, you don't really have a choice. Time just drags because you haven't experienced time the way that everyone else has, the way that adults have. You've probably had, if you're 5 years old, you've had 5 years worth of 24-hour days. And those days seem a lot longer because you're not really doing anything. You're just learning how to be a little human. By the fifth year, you're probably going to kindergarten or something, unless your family doesn't love you, in which case you're probably just sitting outside in the dirt with an unchanged diaper while you dig around and hope to find love from the people who brought you into this world. But if that's not your case, then you're probably, time just, things just take a lot longer. Except for fun. When you're older is fast, but it's also fast when you're a kid, too. When you're a kid, fun things like the summer. The summer is quick like a motherfucker. It's the end of June, and then it's the beginning of September in the blink of a motherfucking eye. And you as a kid, you really have no concept of it because you haven't lived long enough. Now, there was something I was thinking about the other day. I'm single now. And the relationship I had before the last one, before Caroline, the girl I was dating, she said something one time. We got in an argument, okay? Because I like to think I'm a good boyfriend. I try, right? But the hardest part for me is bringing me along with, to family events. And if you don't have like a cool cousin that smokes weed or, an uncle or an aunt or somebody that's interesting that I want to talk to and gives me a reason to sit down and speak to them, then I'm really not interested, right? I'm not interested in hanging out with your friends or going on double dates or none of that stuff. And that's, something that in future relationships I guess I can work on. I feel like I did a better job in my last one of that. Not a great one because I'm alone, but I felt like I did a better job. But I remember we got in an argument and she said, I'm like, why, I'm dating you. I'm not dating your friends. Why do you want me to come with you to this thing? I'm going to be the only guy. It is like, some stupid event, some fucking nonsense that you want me to come to. And she goes, because I want someone to show off and be proud of. That's what it was, basically not so certain terms. I don't know if she said proud of, but she's definitely said someone to show off. I want someone to show off. I want to bring somebody that everyone looks and says, wow, they love each other. They love each other and they're showing it because he showed up to some shit that he doesn't want to go to, but he's here and he's really trying. He's trying. He's making conversation with her aunt, and he's been here since the beginning, and he's gonna stay till the end because he loves her. Yeah, even though they don't see, the boyfriends drinking until they can't see straight, right? that's the only way that they're able to tolerate it, right? You go to a cookout with your girlfriend and it's their family and there's a bunch of people that, you know that there's a couple of guys there that you can get real drunk with. You get fucked up and you make a scene and you fight with her and the whole family, really dislikes you after that. And they're like, oh, God, just bringing him. But that plays into our favor, men. Gentlemen, listen, that plays in our favor. If you want to never go to an event for your significant other, then just fight with them at the one that you go to. Bad. Get drunk. Get, belligerent. Don't listen to anything she says. Make her cry. Make her cry. That's a good one. You make her cry. The family doesn't want you around. But your spell has already been cast on the girl, so you could do whatever you want, and she'll take it, right? She'll be fine because she loves you and you love her. You just don't care for her family. But if you plan it out, then it's less bad. If you're just that person that gets drunk and makes a scene all the time, then that's different. Then that's your actual personality. But if you do it just to get out of going to these events and meeting her family and the whole nine, then that's one thing. That's one thing. I don't know if they'll be able to distinguish that, but in your heart that you just did it for this one time, and that's it. And if she really loves you, then she'll be on board as well. She'll be like, hey, get fucked up and argue with me, and my family will never ask about you again. They'll never ask about you. They'll know that I live with you. They'll know that we do fun things together, but they'll know not to invite you to things like this. And that's a real woman. You find a woman like that, then you're good. I think every man wants a woman that has no family. Realistically, a man wants a woman with no family and no friends because that means there's no outside influence on what you guys are doing, right? Realistically, there's no man that gets into a relationship and is like, nice, now we can go have dinner with your parents on a Sunday afternoon. I'm sure girls don't enjoy that either, right? I'm sure girls don't want to do that shit either. Either side. I think the best relationships are the ones who are between two people that have no family, no friends, no goals, no morals, no regard for their life, no regard for anyone's life, no regard for anything at all. They don't have any money. They don't have any achievements. They don't care about achievements. They're homeless. They barely exist. They subsist. They just barely subsist. They don't go out to eat. They don't go out to the bar and have a drink. They just sit alone in their house or wherever the fuck. They go to work. They don't talk to people. They don't do anything. They have no relationships with anybody except for this one other person that is the exact same way. And then those two link up. Now that's love. That's real love without outside interference. There's nothing that can interfere because you guys, both of you are drones that have no concept of anything. So I think those two people are the people that's the relationship that we want, right? That's like, I spoke about it last week, but that's like, Melania and Trump, Donald Trump, right? Melania and Donald Trump, they have a great relationship. It's just the opposite end because they're mega rich. I know I had said, I had alluded to them being, to the perfect relationship being poor people, which is good too, right? But either way, you don't want to be middle class. If you're middle class, the relationship's going to be tough because, one of you guys are going to want one thing for a little bit of time, right? Let's go to a concert. No, we don't have the money. And then next month, let's buy each other gifts for Christmas. No, we can't. We got to mitigate, right? You got to kind of mitigate. Let's go on vacation. Oh, we got to wait. Middle class comes with wants and desires. If you're poor, then you have no wants or desires. I mean, I guess you could desire to get more money, but that's like, that's tough, right? That's tough. If you're dirt poor and you want to make more money, it all depends. If you want to work, that's one thing. If you want to work a shitty job and you want to do, or if you're just cool with being poor, you and your significant other, you're poor, you smoke an eighth, you make it last for 2 weeks between the both of you. And you guys just get high and you eat Lunchables, and that's not bad, right? There's no expectations between each other. If you guys get married, it's like it's a quick thing. You guys hitchhike to Vegas. You get her a cheapo ring, she gets you one, and there's barely any love involved at all. And maybe you guys stay in Vegas because it's a little warmer and you guys can actually be homeless in a tent. Or you go right over to California where it's super easy to be homeless. They give you money to be homeless. You can do drugs legally. It's great. It's great. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, if you're mega rich and you guys are in a relationship, that's good too, because now it's the same thing, right? It's like there's no expectations other than the conditions that you guys have upheld by being rich as fuck, right? It's when you're in the middle, that's when the arguments about money come in. That's where the divorce, the possibility of divorce heightens. That's where you're, as a man or a woman, you're kind of keeping, options open. You don't know. We've been together 3.5 years. We're going on 4. I still Snapchat this one girl every once in a while, and you never know, right? That's where the uneasiness and the mitigation comes in. Whereas if you're mega rich or you're mega poor, there's no expectation. There's nothing. You guys can just spend all the time loving each other and not worrying about anything else. But I remember her saying that, right? To backtrack on all that, I remember her saying that she wanted someone to be with her that she can bring with her and be proud of and show off. And I thought about that, and I thought, wow, that sounds very similar to having children. Very similar to having children, right? I mean, not only is that, kind of a fucked up thing to say to a person that you love or someone that, you want to spend your time with. I think that that's a fucked up thing to say, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I was fucked up in the sense of not wanting to go, hang out with her grandmother on her mother's side because she just turned 73 and they rented out the Knights of Columbus Hall and they're going to play all the old tunes that the ladies like, the fucking Beach Boys, and everyone can dance and get down, and they're going to stop serving alcohol at 6, even though the party starts at 4. Like, it's, I get it. You want me to come, but, at this point in our relationship, I had gone a bunch of times. I'd gone to these things, not had fun. I've shown in my face, resting bitch face, hard, that I didn't want to be there. Everybody knew. Everyone knew that anytime I went to any of these events, everyone knew I didn't want to be there. And, and I understand. But to say, I want you to come with me because I want to show you to my family, I want to show you off, I want to do this, I want to be proud of, whatever. That isn't that's not really a sufficient, wow, I got a new match on Tinder. We're going to talk about Tinder in a little bit. But that's not like a sufficient, explanation for a guy like me. I'm a humanist for the most part. And, I believe that we exist as humans and we can do whatever the fuck we want, essentially. So for you to say something like that to me, it's like, well, what the fuck? What am I? Am I a watch? Am I a new pocketbook? Am I a new pair of shoes? Am I a dog? Right? Am I a child? A child, that's most of the reason why people have kids, right? Let's just be honest. Let's clear the fucking air here. Most of us are here probably by accident, right? Not always, but a lot of us. A lot of us are here because one day Papa blew his load in Mama, and Mama came up to Papa and said, listen, we got a kid in this motherfucker. What are we going to do? And now those decisions are a lot narrower depending where you live on what you're going to do with the little fuck. But, again, we're here because of an accident. Again, not all of us. Let's say less than half, right? Let's be conservative and say less than half of us. So more than half of us are planned. What is the plan to raise a kid the right way? Right? To raise a kid the right way, raise him or her, raise it to go in the right directions, make good choices in life, not, fuck things up, get a good job, go to a good school, right? Now we're getting into the minutia stuff because this is obviously very specific to certain families. Not every family wants their kid to become a doctor or whatever. They just want their kid to be happy. But again, they're out there because, a lot of the times people want to use their kids as extensions of themselves. The most depraved people have children because they realize that they didn't do a goddamn thing, and they need to use their children as springboards in their life. They need to use their children as dick sizes. How about that? Right? They got to say, well, my kid, he got accepted to Columbia University, and he's going to be this, and he's going to be... That's a lot of what being a parent is. Right? It's a lot of what being a parent is. You tell other parents, you ask each other about the kids, or you don't ask, right? People just usually tell you, well, our Jonathan, he just got a good job at Charles Schwab. He does great. He, when he's not working, he spends his time looking in the mirror, unloading and reloading a revolver and putting it to his head. That's what he does. And his sister Jennifer's doing great. She's doing great. She's a regional manager over at Stop and Shop. She works at the big office. She makes a great living. She did great. And in her free time, she goes home and she drinks a bottle of wine a night. And she stumbles out into the city where she lives. She moved to Nashville. It's always been her dream. And we support her. And she drinks a bottle of red wine every night, and she stumbles out into the honky-tonks and sees how many cocks she can take in the same night and fucks, 3 or 4 sloppy guys, and then wakes up, kicks them out of her house, and goes to her phenomenal job as a regional manager at the corporate Stop and Shop building. And she does great, guys. You guys don't understand how good she does. She just bought herself a new car. You guys get? She just bought herself a new car. She just got the new, the new Chevy Cruze. It's beautiful with gas prices. I mean, it's great. What's Antonio up to? Oh, okay, yeah. So he graduated Rhode Island College. What's he doing? Oh, he has a podcast. Wow, that's nice. What does he do on the podcast? What does he do? Oh, he does what he wants, and he speaks freely, and he makes people laugh sometimes. Wow. Okay. Well, what does he get paid? Where does he live? What does he do? Oh, he's a comedian as well. He's a stand-up comedian. Wow. Does he enjoy it? Yeah. Well, at least he enjoys it. That's like the thing. Well, at least he enjoys it. At least he enjoys it. What's your son do? Oh, he's trying to be a musician. Oh, well, at least he enjoys it. At least he enjoys it. Right? They never say that when you're doing like an actual job. What's your daughter going to be? She's going to be the head phlebotomist at fucking I'm forgetting the name. What's that big? Who gives a fuck? Some big hospital. She's the head of. Oh wow, that's good. That's nice. They don't even mention. At least she likes it. Well, at least she likes doing it. Parents say, well, at least they like doing it. Or do you like doing it? You really like doing it? You like that? They say that when it's some bullshit in their eyes. They say that when it's something that it's probably far-fetched in their mind. Oh, okay, you're going to be a comedian. That's funny, right? Your family members say that too. Family members you haven't seen in a while. Your aunt you haven't talked to. Well, what have you been up to? What have you been? I haven't seen you in 7 years. That's all your fault. That's completely your fault. I mean, I know I have a phone and I have you on Facebook and I know you post often and I never say, but I haven't seen you. What have you been up to? Oh, you're a comedian. Okay. No, well, at least you love it? Do you like doing it? Oh, good. Well, what do you do for work? Oh, you serve tables at a casino. Okay. Nice. Well, Jessica, she just graduated. She's gonna be a nurse. She's gonna do great for herself. That's what parents are. That's what having a kid is. Because I remember being a kid, and I mean everybody has experiences like this, right? Your parents drag you along to some shit that you have no reason to go to, right? You're gonna go see some distant family member or some family friend you haven't spoken to in years, and you might even be of age to stay home alone, but they force you to come along because they want the older person or the friend or whoever the fuck it is, they want to say, well, look at my boy. Or look at my beautiful daughter. Look at her. Look, everyone look. Look, ask her questions. Ask her questions about school, because she doesn't get asked questions about school enough. Ask her what she wants to do when she graduates, when she goes, because she's graduating middle school this year. So ask her what she wants to do when she graduates high school, which is another 4 years from now. Ask her about that. Ask her about what she wants to do with her life. She's 12. Come on, ask her. Ask her, say, hey, Bethany. Hey, Bethany, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? You're 12, okay? You're 12. If all goes well, you got another 88 years here, okay? You got to figure out right the fuck now what it is you want to do, Bethany. Tell me right now, Bethany, what is it that you want to do with your fucking life? Tell us. Tell us. And there's a whole bunch of people sitting at a table, including your parents. Well, go ahead, Bethany, tell them. Remember the other day you said you wanted to be a pediatrician? Come on, Bethany, tell them. They want to hear. They want to hear about it. Come on. Come on, Bethany. Tell them. But that's what it is as a kid, guys. That's what you do as a child, and that's what some people want in their partner. That's what some people want in the person that they love, is to be able to show them off. Show them off. Show me off, baby. That's what I'm going to say. Next time, this Tinder match, let's take a look at who it is, because I did want to talk about Tinder, which is it's the stupidest thing that's ever been created. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, Monica. Interesting. But anyway, none of that matters. Tinder is it's stupid as fuck. It's, I don't even look at what I'm swiping at. I just swipe. I just swipe. You just swipe like an animal. That's all you got to do. And it's funny, some of the things that are said as bios on there. It's hilarious. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. It is irrational to think that you will find any kind of relationship, sex, friendships, or actual long-term relationships. I don't know anybody that's ever met anyone on Tinder that they said they loved, or that they wanted to do anything other than have sex with. But even then, to meet people to have sex with on Tinder, I mean, good luck. You got to be an Adonis, man or woman. An Adonis or an Aphrodite. You got to be fucking, because it's 6 pictures and some words. Okay, I love you. Let's fuck. That's, it's funny. It's funny to me. But there are these things. Now, I work with all women, right? At the casino, I work with mostly ladies. So sometimes I do listen to them. I listen to them talk about men, and I try to put my input as a man, right? I try to help. But as you know, men, we all we want to do is slide in there. So, that's why I'm even in the conversation with them. But either way, they talk a lot about the intricacies of these dating apps, right? These dating profiles. They talk a lot about, Snapchat and, social media as well. But, it's a science to them with some of these apps, right? They, one of the things was obviously catfishing has been a thing for a while, but there's people who post their pictures on their dating profile. They're older pictures, right? Now you're a little chubbier, you got, losing a little more hair and whatever. And I try to be as authentic as possible. I put recent pictures on there, pictures that look like how I look now. And you try to be honest, and some of these girls do the same thing in both directions, good or bad. And but men will do it. Men do that because they're just conniving fucking animals. So are women. But women don't need Tinder, right? That's the thing. Women are on Tinder just to flirt and to fuck around. Women enjoy flirting for fun, and you guys know this. I don't have a ton of ladies that listen to this. Most of my demographic is men, but men know this as well. Men know that women will flirt for little to no reason, just for fun, just because they know that they can, right? And that's what Tinder is most of the time. Yes, there's girls who, whatever, but realistically, the ball is in the field of the female, when it comes to sex. A lot of the time. A lot of the time, right? We can say that most of the time, women are the ones who hold the orb of fucking, okay? The orb of fucking. So, men are on there, and they try to take it as seriously as possible, right? And men are on Tinder trying to take it as serious as possible, which is why they fuck around and show bullshit pictures of themselves, and, they want to show, pictures with hat, sunglasses, and the whole nine. It's, it is misleading. It's definitely misleading. But what's funny to me is all the shows at these streaming networks that are supposed to be so talent forward and cutting edge and all these things, they love having... I mean, it started with Catfish, right? It started with Catfish, then they got the Tinder Swindler, and they got... what's the other one? Dirty Boys, or something. I don't know what it was. And it's all about these men. Catfish was men and women. But it's all about these people who build up their profiles. They build them up to a certain wavelength, right? They want you to believe a certain thing about them. And then you meet them, and it's all fake, or they take all your money, or they get you involved in some cult or something, right? They get you all fucked up. And these shows are all the rage. And it begs the question... why, in a time where that shit is as rampant as it's ever been, why are we making shows? Why are we glorifying it? Why are we giving people blueprints on how to catfish, on how to fuck with people? Because that's what it is. It's like bowling for Columbine, right? Let's just have a show. Let's have a show. Let's have a movie. Let's have a piece of media that shows exactly how you can kill a bunch of kids in your school. Why not? Let's do that. Let's give them a blueprint. I know it's a show and it's dramatic effect and whatever. Let's give them a blueprint on how you can connive a woman to give you all her money so that because you've convinced her that she's protected by a cult. And the only way that she'll stay protected is if you keep giving her money. Right? I'm pretty sure that's the Tinder Swindler. I didn't watch it, but I heard about it again from one of these women I work with. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, these women love this. They love talking about this because when it happens to them, they enjoy talking about it as well. They enjoy exchanging experiences. Did I tell you about the time when I matched with a guy and he pulled up to my home and we were gonna go out and he had no bottom teeth? Do you believe that? His pictures didn't show that. What is that? I mean, there are countless pieces of media that can help these men or these women into can help them by giving them a blueprint to swindle you motherfuckers, right? I mean, why don't they just have a JFK assassination movie? So then they can tell us how to, or a Shinzo Abe. Right? What about that one? A Shinzo Abe fucking how-to on killing leaders, on killing world leaders. Why don't they just do that? Why don't they have a show on how to make bombs in your house? Right? You might as well. It'll be fictional. Guys. It'll be a fake... no names will be said. Nobody knows, none of the actors will play Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. It'll be fine. Okay? Nobody will be influenced by any of that. Nobody. It's just a piece of media it's a piece of art for all of us to look at and say, and talk about. That's what it is, because that's what art is, right? It's supposed to be appreciated by everybody. And if that means that the off chance of a bunch of people learning how to kill world leaders and activists and big political whatever, if that's the offset, if that's the byproduct of something like that, then hey, our hands are washed. Our hands are clean, baby. We don't care. We can't care. This is what the people want to see. But the people can't complain that after watching the JFK assassination explained for real, then you can't get mad if a guy goes and tries to stab the possible governor of New York, which has happened recently, right? There was a guy who was a veteran, and I read something funny about this. For those of you that don't know, Lee Zeldin, who is the Republican nominee in New York's governor race, was he got attacked by a guy. I don't know if the guy had, I think he had a weapon. The gentleman's name was David Jakubonis, and he ran up while the governor's candidate of New York was getting ready to do a speech, or while he was giving his speech. And this gentleman, who was a veteran, he was in Iraq in 2009, he went ahead and he took initiative. He must have watched a documentary on something, and he was let out. What was it? He's let out without bail. He's released without bail. That's how you know things are okay, guys. Now they're starting to be a little more tolerant because they know that the politicians are swindling motherfuckers, and the lawmakers want to. They don't mind. They don't mind when something like this happens because the politicians are cutting in on their action. The lawmakers are supposed to be making the laws on their own. The politicians, they have influence, of course, and they always have. But as of recent, their influence has been, let's say, a little wishy-washy, I guess, for lack of a better term, right? It's been very, especially in New York, right? New York has become incredibly, I guess, progressive is the word, or I mean, they've always been a left state. They've always been a blue state. Maybe not always, but they have been a blue state, especially as of recent, right? I mean, things have gotten very different in New York as time has progressed. Where I'm sure in the past, if an assailant were to go and attack the soon-to-be governor or the possible governor of New York, they would have said, fuck him, and the candidate, would have pulled out a gun and shot the fucking guy. Just like the dude with he was married to the girl from SVU, from Law and Order. I forget the guy's name, but John Gotti had put a hit on him or something, and he lived, or whatever the fuck, right? It's a different time in New York. It's a different place. But one of the things that was very funny to me, now here's the quote, right? After a campaign event Friday, Zeldin told reporters his attacker wore a hat indicating he was a veteran. Now, this is funny. Now, the way that I'm wired, this is his quote. Now, the way that I'm wired, when I see somebody wearing a hat that says they're a veteran, my guard couldn't possibly be more dropped. You know that is a fucking lie, okay? That is a goddamn lie. You mean to tell me that your guard drops when a guy wearing a veteran hat comes around? Really? The guy that was sent to some buttfuck country against his own will, or maybe not against his own will. He volunteered. He thought it was going to be the good cause, the right cause. He wanted to fight the right fight. And he went on over to some buttfuck country that he would have never known about, probably couldn't pick it out on a map unless he was actually airdropped in an AC-130 like he probably was. Now, this guy was a medical lab technician, so he probably was a little smart, but he was in the military nonetheless, and maybe he saw some things. While he was there, he saw some things. Maybe he had a buddy that they sent out and he got fucking murdered, never saw him again. Who knows? That guy coming back after years and years of being a part of a bloody, murderous war. Iraq in 2009 was a very, very bad place. Not saying that it's great now. I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure in 2009 it was very, very bad when we had our dirty, grubby little fingers in there. So that guy comes back to civilization and decides to, or regular society, one that is not war-torn, one that you can walk down the street, go to Walmart, get a pair of slippers and a Newsweek magazine, go home and jerk off and eat a TV dinner. Normal fucking society, right? You mean to tell me that the guy that was in a place where any given time, you could hear bombs. You could hear the shrieks of women screaming for their children who just died, or the child is actually alive in the street, and he's missing half of his body, and he's still alive. He's barely hanging on, and the last few words that he can say is, "I love you, mother." And the mom is just screaming at the top of her lungs. She can't even go run to him because there's bombs going off all over the place. She has to stay where she is and watch her kid get murdered in the middle of the street. You can hear that all the time. You can probably see it. There's a threat, imminent threat of danger at all times. You are in war. You're in a war zone. You're in wartime. All you hear is fucking machines flying overhead or driving by. There's checkpoints. There's armor. There's guns. There's bullets. There's fucking, you eat rations. You eat dust. It's sandy. You never know when a guy might come in with a concealed bomb attached to his chest and he might blow up your whole battalion. Someone throws a grenade in your fucking bunker. You got to hop on that fucking thing to stop casualties. You got to eat it. You got to eat shrapnel to your stomach and die. People see these things, or they at least hear about them. They at very least hear about them. Now that guy comes back to regular society, lives in New York, and you're going to tell me that when you see a guy wearing a veteran's hat, your guard drops? My goodness. I mean, unless the guy is ancient, right? If the guy's real old, he was in Vietnam, maybe your guard can drop, I guess, because he's old. You know, he's old. You drop a pan on the ground and he'll, duck and cover, right? He's old, right? Who gives a fuck? He probably still has acid flashbacks and all these things. It's okay. All right? It's okay. I understand. But how long before that guy is getting interviewed and, they're talking about a Hulu show? What went wrong with this veteran who on this day went and attacked, who on Friday, the 21st of July, attacked the governor of New York, and the governor of New York sits down, or the Republican candidate for governor of New York sits down, Lee Zadis, or whatever the fuck I said his name was. He sits down and he talks about it all. And what's his name? Lee Zeldin. He sits down and he's, wow. And the video doesn't really seem that bad. Like I'm seeing the video for the first time, and it looks like they just. Oops, sorry. Shut the fuck up. There we go. I don't want to hear it. I just want to see. Look at this. He walks up to him, and he doesn't even have a weapon. He doesn't even have a weapon. The guy pulls him. Very weird. Very weird. It was a pretty shitty attack, if we're being honest. The guy now the Republican nominee said that the guy had a weapon. I didn't see a weapon in the video. Maybe he did. Maybe he was scared. Maybe he was chicken shit because he was close. He could have easily murdered that guy. Easily murdered that guy. Stab him in the throat 2 or 3 times and go to jail for life. He just got cold feet. That's what it was. He got cold feet. He said, "I'm 43. There's no need for me to kill the Republican nominee for governor in the state of New York. It's okay. Even if I don't agree with him, I probably shouldn't kill him. Let me just grab him by the arm and tug him, and people are going to, wrestle a little bit, and we'll be fine." But it won't be long before that guy gets interviewed and gets a pilot on one of these shows, and it'll be great. It'll be great. That's what people want to see. We want to have documentaries on. We live in the age of the senseless documentary. There's documentaries for all these artists that have lived for. They've been alive for 21 years and they died, right? They have the XXX Tentacion fucking documentary. I don't even know if that's how you say his whole name. People just call him X. Whatever. I'm out of the loop. They had the Lil Xan document. Like, who are these people? Why do they get documentaries? I get they were big and they were this and they were that and they had a following, and that's great. But if every person that has any kind of a following gets a documentary, first of all, it diminishes the fact that you get a documentary. But second of all, I mean, if anybody gets one, if anybody that got any kind of recognition gets a documentary, I mean, I would hope that some of these younger rappers that didn't really get a lot of time, these younger stars that die early, what did they do, What the fuck did they do? We got a Travis Scott documentary as well. What is Travis Scott known for other than fucking Caitlyn Jenner and, right, is it Kate Jenner? Or is that the no? That's not Caitlyn. Maybe he fucked Caitlyn too. Which one is it? I don't know. He fucked the baddest one, right? He piped her, not Caitlyn. And he's obviously a huge recording artist, Kanye West. But Astroworld being a complete disaster was, that's a pretty big thing for him as well. It's just funny, guys. It's funny that anybody gets documentaries. I mean, at least those people did some things, right? We do have documentaries on murderers, right? We love serial killer documentaries. They get a lot of airtime because, why not? That's what people want to see. They want to see the woman that went crazy and, killed her kids in a bathtub. That's what everyone wants to watch. So then if they go crazy, they know what to do. They know where she went wrong. She left a little DNA over there. You gotta clean the whole place, bleach it down. You gotta cover it in plastic if you're gonna kill your kids and sacrifice them to your dog who's telling you to do it, who is also the voice of God. You have to do that. You have to cover all your bases. You gotta disenroll them from the school that they go to, the elementary school. You say that you're moving. You do all these things. It's a process. It is a process, and that's why we have documentaries to learn, and it's great. Now, I mentioned Travis Scott and music festivals and the whole thing. This past weekend was Rolling Loud, Miami. Now, I had a great time when I went to Rolling Loud. I tried to convince all my friends to go with me. No one went with me except for my buddy Josh, who at the time was willing to spend the money, as was I. I probably spent $2,000 that whole trip, and it was worth it like a motherfucker. I went to the best Rolling Loud that there was, right? Maybe, it's all relative, I guess. But if you look at the lineup, I got to see anybody, you fucking name it. When it comes to hip-hop, I saw him, right? I saw Lil Uzi. I saw Lil Uzi Vert jump off of the highest thing I've ever seen anybody jump off and live. I watched him. I watched J. Cole. I saw Young Thug. And Future headlined on Sunday. By the way, Rolling Loud is huge now. I went in 2016. They have way more shows now. But the Miami one, they have the same people every year, right? Future has been headlining on Sundays for Rolling Loud since 2016, right? We're in 26 years. Every Sunday, the motherfucker, in Miami, he's the one closing the show out. But I saw all these people. Future brought out Chris Brown and Nicki Minaj, and I saw Meek Mill on his first day out, with Tory Lanez, and Travis Scott with the Migos, and Quavo and him doing Huncho Jack. You name it, guys. Post Malone, Rick Ross, Action Bronson giving himself a fucking haircut on stage. Ski Master Slump God brought out X. It was his last concert. Brought out X. They reunited. They had a monstrous mosh pit, the biggest mosh that I've ever seen. The whole fucking crowd. I don't know how many people were there, but the whole crowd. It was great. Now, I don't know if you guys know the history of music festivals, but they're notoriously, when they first started out in the 60s, they were very bad, right? There was Monterey Pop in California, which was a big success. And then there was, obviously, Woodstock, which turned out to be a monstrous cultural movement. And the lack of injury and these type of things in terms of, bad energy coming out of the concert was pretty much non-existent. But it was the 500,000 people collected into a little town. You guys don't need me to go on about it. You know what the fuck it is, especially if you've heard the show enough. You know that I have a unhealthy infatuation with Woodstock. So, but all the other ones were very bad. Police getting involved, riots, people getting murdered. So when a music festival like Astroworld or like Woodstock 99 or whatever year it was, when they go wrong, just know that is that's the blueprint. Just know that if you're at a music festival and everything's going right and you're having a good time, that is a mistake. And they've perfected it now, so there's not as many, right? But when you hear about it, it's good. It's like when you're watching UFC, And there's a guy who's been in there. He's a fan favorite. Everyone likes him. He's been in there for ages. And he goes out there and he wins. He wins against somebody he's not supposed to win against. Like right now, they just announced Khamzat Chimaev and Nate Diaz. I mean, Khamzat Chimaev should probably murder Nate Diaz within the first round. But if Nate ends up winning, it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's like the old school coming through and overshadowing the new school. So when Astroworld happens and people get murdered and people die and there's people running around and the concert's still going on like nothing's happening, that is like a blast from the past. It's like, hey, the old kind of reared its beautiful head again. You know, the old is popping its eyes out from behind the wall and saying, you know what? I'm still here, motherfucker. I'm still here, bitches. I'm still here. I'm here for the long haul. But this past Rolling Loud, they had, Kanye came out as a surprise guest, which is obviously crazy, right? Obviously nuts. He was supposed to be the headliner. Then he said, no, motherfuckers, I'm not doing it. But he shows up anyway, which is great. I think that's awesome. That's phenomenal. But my experience with Rolling Loud, I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit because it was a lot of fun and there's some fun anecdotes that had happened. It started off, I saw the set list and it was crazy. I mean, J. Cole headlined on Friday. He just dropped KOD, right, a few months before, and there were so many new projects like Thug and Future doing Super Slimy, which was a big, that was a pretty big duo project between the two. And it was great. It was a perfect timing, perfect storm. And I saw the set list and I'm like, damn, I want someone to come with me. I'll pay whatever the fuck it is. I want to go all 3 days. It was like $600, which really isn't bad. $200 a day, really, to go see all them. It's wild. I'm like, I want someone to go with me. And the only person I knew that would actually do it was my buddy Josh. My buddy Josh, who I've been trying to get on this motherfucker, but he's a scoundrel, so it's okay, no problem. But I remember bringing the idea up to him, and this was right around the time when we were both servers at Casarino's, and we were younger, right? 2016 was 6 years ago, so I was 19, right? We're younger, we live at home, we're making good money, right? We're making good money. We're serving, busy restaurant, we're making good money, and Josh, at this point in time, and he'll tell you, he was letting it get to his head, very much so. Very much so. He was letting it get to his head. And he was throwing money around. He didn't give a fuck. So I was like, this guy is definitely going to come with me. And I was right. He's like, yeah, let's do it. So we figured it all out. We got the flight. It was an early morning flight, 5 a.m., and we met up. I remember it vividly because it was super fun, and it's funny because his cousin was actually at Rollin' Loud this weekend, and I remember going to his crib and saying, we were all there, and we all went in his basement, him and his friends and his cousins, and it was like a big event, and we were smoking weed in the basement, and everyone was like, "Shit, man, y'all gonna have fun. This is gonna be great," and we got our things together, and we went back to my parents' crib, and it was late, but not super late. Enough time for us to get a few hours of sleep because we needed to be up at like 4, right? So we could get ourselves situated and head on over. So we probably got 4 hours of sleep, maybe less. And our plan was, as soon as we got to the airport, go in the bathroom and house these Rice Krispie treats. The weed Rice Krispie treats, and we were going to eat those, and that's exactly what we did. And I forgot what the milligrams were on them. I think they might have been like 70, 75 a piece. And I remember immediately, like I ate them, and they hit, or I ate mine, and for both of us, it hit in a way that as soon as we got on the plane at 5 a.m., we passed the fuck out. We fell right asleep. And in the back were these guys who were drunk as a motherfucker. And this is when we were landing. We were going to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, so it's probably 4 hours maybe. So now it's 9 in the morning. These guys are in the back screaming the attendant's name. Like, these guys are getting after it early. And me and Josh are waking up from a weed coma, and we're like, so we get to the hotel, we sleep immediately, we go right to sleep, and we wake up. It's Friday, and Friday's the day where it starts off a little bit later. Saturday and Sunday it starts at 12, but Friday it starts at like 4 or 5 or something. So we're back at the crib, or at the hotel. We wake up and we go out to grab some food. We go to Five Guys, and we meet a girl there, or Josh is like, we got to get some weed. So he asks her, and she, she charges us way too much money, but we buy it anyway, and we go, and, we have all this weed, and we smoked it all in that night, so we had to buy more the next day. But we also bought a big old bottle of I think Jack Honey it was, and we pounded that. I mean, pretty much within a day and a half, we drank that whole fucking thing. I remember filling up a Wendy's cup and bringing it with me in the Uber and drinking most of that thing. I remember dying in the Uber. I needed to pee so fucking bad. I was dying. We were in traffic. We were about 30 minutes from the Miami Gardens arena where it was going to happen. And we get there, and I immediately take a piss, and then it's just go time. ASAP Ferg is on the stage, ride with the mob, hamdu Allah. And it's not even close to packed yet. It's still light out. There's a lot of people there, but you can walk around. There's big area for you to walk around. And later on, that fills out. And then now we're there, we're drinking, we're spending money, we're drinking. Josh finds somebody's phone on the ground, and they give him $100 once they find it. We get it back to them, they give him $100. Things are good. Now, I got real drunk, right? We were drinking the whiskey, but, and we brought weed with us, but we didn't, at the bars that they had there, they had a bunch of bars, and they had these things called beatboxes, which I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And they're these vodka drinks that are already mixed, and I was drinking those. And we're smoking weed and whatever. And I remember after Lil Uzi's set, or Young Thug, or whoever it was before J. Cole. J. Cole was the headliner, and they had kind of a break. Because before that, it was like artist. And they're banging out hits. Meek Mill comes out in the ATVs, first day out. He's doing T Grizzly first day out. He's up there with Tory Lanez. Liddy again. Bah, fucking fire going up. Young Thug going up there. Do everyone know I've been killed before? Like, it is fucking lit as a motherfucker. People are going crazy. And by this point, it's nighttime, right? J. Cole is the last guy. Everyone's waiting for him. And there's 3 stages. And they make sure that J. Cole is the last one, including the other 2 stages, so that everybody can pile over there. And in between the break between the guy who went before J. Cole and J. Cole, I remember laying down on the ground and falling asleep. I was at the biggest hip hop concert in the world, the biggest hip hop concert with possibly the biggest lineup that they've ever had and may ever have, right? Or at least up until this point. Right? If Ye actually was the headliner, then that could have trumped it. But nonetheless, I remember laying down and waking up, coming to, and I'm like, wait, J. Cole. J. Cole's playing right now. This J. Cole is up there right now. And my boy Josh is sitting next to me, and he's like, yeah, that's why I woke you the fuck up. I didn't even feel him. I didn't even feel him nudge me awake, guys. I was asleep on the ground like a motherfucker, bro. It was crazy. And then we go and we bug out to J. Cole. And that's Friday. We wait around for an Uber. It takes so fucking long. It takes forever. I'm drunk, like way drunker than Josh. I was probably my drunkest this day. And we, I'm saying, fuck you. The car's going by. I'm being a fucking menace, guys. My phone is about to die. His phone's about to die. We need the Uber. It's great. And then we get back to the hotel. We chill, whatever. Next day comes. I don't remember exactly what we did in the daytime. I'm sure it involved, going to the pool and getting some food and whatever else. And then Saturday, there was Migos, Travis Scott, and we brought weed to that as well. We bought more weed, and that day Sunday was when I snuck in a bottle of Hennessy. Sunday was a fun day because it rained, and I remember being there, and I brought the wrong package of woods. We had these 4 or 5 backwoods because we had a bunch of weed left over, and this was the last day. We had Monday, too, but Monday was just... Our flight left at like 6 o'clock on Monday, we'll say, evening time. So we still had kind of the full day. So we our plan was to bring those big fat ass blunts with us to the festival. But we had another package with woods and one tiny blunt in there. It was all woods and then one small blunt. And that was the one I brought. And good thing, because if not, all that weed would have gotten ruined in the rain. And I remember being so drunk, so fucked up. And this was the day that X and Ski Mask did their thing. And I lost my buddy Josh because the entire crowd, 100,000 people, however many fucking people were there, all of them started jumping. When they did Back the Fuck Up, fucked up, fucked up. And people are just, huge, huge. I show people that video to explain to them, look how crazy this is. If you guys go and look at the 2016 Miami Rolling Loud performance with Ski Mask, the Slump God, and X, they do that song. It is absolutely crazy. There's an aerial view of the crowd. The whole crowd is as one, just boom, 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 jumping. And I got separated from my boy Josh, and I didn't find him until the very end of the show. And I'm over there. I'm all fucked up. I'm alone. I'm wearing jeans like an idiot. I'm wearing, these new shoes, these Reebok Questions that were white and blue. And we're in a field. We're in a fucking field, guys. A field that's filled with people. It's raining. It's muddy. It's hot, right? It's Florida. And, I'm sitting there. I don't have any weed, but I had a couple backwoods. And I remember lighting one and smoking it and smoking on it like a cigar, like you're supposed to, And those of you who smoke cigars or know someone that smokes cigars, the end of those things get fucking disgusting. Now, forget it if you're drunk and you're in the rain and it's a backwood. It's damn near vile. And I'm out there just fucking puffing on that thing. And a bunch of kids come up to me. They go, hey, man, let me hit that. And I'm like, listen, bro, I'm trying to tell them. I'm like, this is a cigar, man. Listen, there's no weed in this. This is just cigar. It's a cigar, and it's gross. They're like, man, stop lying. We can smell it. Stop lying, man. That's some loud. And I'm like, okay. So I passed it to them, and they both hit it twice, right? And they're like, God damn, that's some loud. And then they just walked off. And I would have loved to seen them later just to see, because if you don't know, right, is it not the placebo effect? They probably existed the whole rest of the night high as a motherfucker, which is great. And I also had this white bucket hat on that I lost because I put a couple girls on my shoulders while Post Malone was playing miserable songs, right? Ooh, I fall apart. And I got some 90-pound girl on my shoulders. And then I took her off, and now my fucking hat is gone. It's stomped out in the mud. My clothes are fucking destroyed. I'm soaked. I see Josh at the end. He said he fucked the girl in the crowd. Hard to believe. I don't know if that's true. He said he fucked her in the crowd, whipped his dick out, pissed all over the place. Maybe he did. I don't know. I hope he did. I really do. And we reconnect by the end of the show, and we're soaked. We're drunk. I remember getting in the back of the Uber, and we just fucking soaked up the back of that guy's thing. He probably was super upset. We got mud all over the place. We asked him to stop at the CVS on the way to the hotel so we can grab snacks. And I remember eating snacks and vomiting the next morning because I ate them all, and it was too much. And it was like spicy chips and fucking Gatorade. And I just woke up and had heartburn. I said, gah, gah, in the bathroom. It wasn't even because I was drunk or hungover. It was mostly because it was too much snack. And then Monday was a phenomenal day because all we did, we had those big fat ass blunts, and our hotel room had I forgot to mention, when we got back to the hotel, this was funny. We got back to the hotel, we're obviously fucked up, and I remember taking off my socks, and we were next to a marina, and I remember taking off my soaking wet socks and throwing them into the walkway to where the marina was, because we had a little balcony. It was the first floor, but we had like a little outside area where we could sit. And I remember just instinctively, didn't even want to throw them in the garbage. I just remember instinctively taking them off and throwing them out right out the sliding door. I walked across the room, opened the sliding door, and said, "Phew!" Threw them out. We left our shoes in the hotel. because they were so muddy and destroyed. It would have been impossible to pack up. Sorry, guys. Hiccups again. All right, they're gone, I think. Such an annoying fucking thing. Oh, my God. I fucking hate the hiccups. But I remember just instinctively just taking that shit off and throwing it out there. I probably threw my underwear out there as well. And he did the same thing. And we're dying laughing. And he's calling his buddies back home, talking about he fucked a girl raw in the Miami Gardens and whatever. And... and Monday was great because we had the whole day mostly, and we just smoked those fat-ass blunts and reminisced on the weekend. We went to Neiman Marcus. We went to the mall just to see what was up. I bought a couple, not at Neiman Marcus, but I bought a couple of things. We went to the mall. We never went to the beach because we didn't have enough time, but and I remember sitting on the balcony or sitting on that little outside thing, and we're just smoking and chilling and laughing and having a great fucking time. And it was a great trip. And then we came back home. It was a red-eye. My parents picked us up, and that was the end of it. And I remember being so just, I was on cloud nine for the next couple of days. Like, fuck, why am I back here? I want to be back at that like, that was awesome. And it really was a great time. And nobody got murdered, as far as I know. Nobody got murdered, and everyone had a great time. And, music festivals are really, really a good thing. As long as they go well, of course, which they've gotten to the point where it's well, or they've gotten to the point where it's figured out. They know how to do it. And I hope everyone had fun. The people that were there, they did it late this year. It's usually in May, but they did it in July. But that's the best one. If I could recommend, I want to go to more music festivals. I have no money, right? I'm a broke motherfucker, but I would love to go I want to go to Bonnaroo. Bonnaroo's great because you camp out and the whole thing. I would love to do all that shit. I think that's some of the funnest times I've ever had was going to that big music festival like that. And I recommend it to everybody else. Unless you go to one where, like I said, the old school pops up and someone's hitting each other, someone's hitting people with a frying pan in the mosh. And that happens too. But nonetheless, guys, I think I'm wrapping this bitch up. We got to wrap this bitch up. Thursday, it's looking like we're going to have a guest. It's looking like we're going to have an in-person guest, which, like I said in the past, is the only way I'm doing guests anymore. I don't want to do this Zoom shit. I don't want to, as much as I enjoy talking to people and learning about the interesting shit, I've had some great conversations with some great people, but the only way I'm doing it is in person now. And, I'm making my rounds in Connecticut in the comedy scene and the whole nine, and I'm trying to meet people. And that's what it is. And I'd love to have them on. I'd love to have those people on. But it's looking like we're going to have a guest on Thursday. Should be fun. We're going to have some fun shit to talk about. What else? Dates. We got August 6th, Broadway Comedy Club. I need people to show up to that. And then the end of August, we're doing the 25th to the 28th. We're doing the Portland, Maine Comedy Festival. I'll also be hosting a open mic at Jake and Johnny's Lounge in Providence, August 24th, which is the Thursday beforehand. And I'm hosting another night in October somewhere. It doesn't matter. I'm thinking about doing another Mohegan Sun gig maybe because I got some friends out here now, or coworkers that maybe will go. And that's it, motherfuckers. I guess I'm done. We've made it to the end. Do you believe it? I don't think anybody makes it to the end of my fucking episodes, if I'm being honest. I'm sure people listen to it for a little bit, but people don't make it to the end. But if you've made it to the end, I appreciate it. Thank you all so very much for listening, and I'll talk to you on Thursday. Peace. Hey, I'm back to reiterate all the stuff that I said at the top of the show. Follow and subscribe. Bye-bye.